Well, hey guys, we're in Memorial Park Cemetery again today in Memphis, Tennessee. And I actually came here to run down some graves of some people that were intricately involved with the Tennessee Children's Home Society, and a video we're going to do on that. And me and the boys started looking around the cemetery, and we saw all the great musicians and entertainers that are buried here. And well, we're going to use this video to expose you to some of those. You know, I started this YouTube channel, well, a few years ago now, just as a fun way to teach my kids about Mississippi and Mississippians. And yes, we're from Mississippi, and I wanted them to know to not let the world put them in a box. I wanted them to know they could do and be and create anything in the world that they wanted to create. And so when we find ourselves going different places, we look for interesting stories and things that we might want to learn about. And you can't come to Memorial Park Cemetery and talk about history and music history specifically and not come by and pay your respects to the great Sam Phillips. Sam Cornelius Phillips was born on January 5th, 1923, and he was an American disc jockey, a record producer, and a songwriter. He founded Sun Records and Sun Studio in Memphis. He produced recordings of Roy Orbison, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, and Howlin' Wolf. In my opinion, Sam played the biggest role in the development of rock and roll during the 1950s. The next grave we're going to run by real quick is the grave of Red West. Red West was born in March of 1936 right here in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm going to keep Red real brief because my youngest son and I did a video on Red a while back, and you can watch that one if you want to. Red was a stuntman, a songwriter, and an actor, but he was most famously a friend and a bodyguard for the great rock and roll singer and Mississippian Elvis Presley. He also co-wrote a controversial book, Elvis, What Happened? This book was published just 2 weeks before Elvis's death in August of '77. Now we're going to visit the grave of Don Briscoe. Don was born in March of 1940 in Yalobusha County, Mississippi. Don was a stage and soap opera actor that made theater appearances in things like Come Back Little Sheba, Friends and Romans, and The Tavern. He played Tony Merritt on Days of Our Lives in 1966. He appeared on I Dream of Jeannie in 1967 on the episode entitled A Secretary is Not a Toy. He is probably most famously known for playing on the soap opera Dark Shadows. He played the parts of Chris Jennings, Tom Jennings, Chris Collins, and Timothy Shaw. While on Dark Shadows, he appeared in an off-Broadway play called Boys in the Band. He appeared in 95 Dark Shadows episodes before leaving the show in 1970. Don died in 2004 at his home right here in Memphis from heart disease. Now let's meet George Klein. George was born in Memphis in October of 1935. George had a long and rather successful career as a Memphis TV personality and radio DJ. He started working in 1957. He hosted the show Talent Party on WHBQ TV from 1964 to 1973. He was also a member of Elvis's Memphis Mafia, and he had minor roles in 8 of Elvis's movies. Later in life, he hosted Sirius XM's Elvis Radio and the George Klein Original Elvis Hour on WLFP-FM. But in 1970, he married Barbara Little on December the 5th in Elvis's Las Vegas hotel suite, with Elvis serving as best man. They divorced, and he married Dora Patterson in 1998, and they were still married when he passed away. George was quoted as saying, "I had never been a particularly Orthodox Jew, but after Elvis died, I followed the Jewish tradition, a year of mourning marked with daily morning and evening prayers." Now we're going to meet Ronnie Caldwell. He was born in December of 1948, and he was a keyboard player. He was the only white member of the Bar-Kays, a group, of course, based right here in Memphis, Tennessee. The Bar-Kays probably most famously recorded with Otis Redding. In the 60s, it was kind of unusual, but Caldwell was fully accepted in Memphis's black community. He even felt free to go out in public with his black girlfriend, despite segregation. Caldwell died on December the 10th, 1967, just 17 days before his 19th birthday. He was in a plane crash with Otis Redding and their 3 other band members, Phelan Jones, Carl Cunningham, and Jimmy King. Their valet, Matthew Kelly, and the pilot, Richard Frazier, were also, of course, in the crash. They were on their way to a performance in Madison, Wisconsin. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed visiting this little gem of a cemetery in Memphis, Tennessee today. And maybe you've come across somebody you've never heard of, or you didn't really realize that was them. Or some of these guys brought back a special memory that you were able to enjoy. Thank you.